Good morning everyone. Today I will be discussing the chapter 14 of Advanced Management Information System, which is the project management. After my presentation, you should be able to state the importance of project management, have an overview of the information systems plan, and explain how to manage project risk. First, let us know the importance of project management. The failure rate of information systems initiative is relatively high, and with proper project management, we can increase the success rate. Also, when a system falls short of expectations, companies may not see any return on their information system investment, and the system may not be able to address the issues for which it was designed. The creation of a new system requires careful planning and management. That is why it is very crucial to have some understanding of how to manage information systems initiatives and the factors that determine whether they are successful or unsuccessful. Runaway projects and system failures. What do we mean by runaway projects? Runaway projects is any project that grossly exceeds budget and time targets but yet has failed to produce an acceptable deliverable. Do you know that according to the study made by the Standish Group Consultancy, there were only 32% IT projects that were successful? It means it was finished on schedule, on budget, and on what initially intended. Ineffective management or poor project management can lead to cost excess, where there will be unreasonably high cost compared to budgets. Time lapses, there will be a sudden lapse in the timeline. Technical issues affecting performance will be less than anticipated and failing to receive the desired benefits. Objectives of project management. A project is a deliberate set of associated tasks intended to accomplish a certain business goal. Information systems projects might involve creating new systems, improving current ones, or upgrading or replacing the organization's information technology infrastructure. Project management is the process of using information, skills, tools, and procedures to complete tasks within predetermined budget and timelines. Planning the work, evaluating risks, up to assigning tasks, directing activities, and analyzing the results are all part of project management activities. There are 5 main factors that project management for information systems must consider, and these are scope, time, cost, quality, and risk. The scope of a project determines what work is and is not included. Project management should ensure that the scope of a project does not change from what was initially intended and should identify all the work necessary to execute a project successfully. Time is the length of time necessary to finish the project. The goal of project management is to estimate the time needed to finish each activity and provide a schedule for doing it. Cost is calculated by multiplying the time needed to finish a project by the price of human resources needed to complete it. The price of workspace, software, and hardware are all included in the cost of information. Quality is a measure of how well a project's final product meets the goals set forth by management. Correctness, timeliness, and usability are taken into account when determining quality. Risks describe the potential issues that could jeopardize a project's success. By raising time and expense, diminishing the quality of project outputs, or preventing the project from being completely entirely, these possible issues may prohibit a project from reaching its goals. Selecting projects. Businesses frequently receive a variety of projects to execute in order to address problems and improve performance. There are far more ideas for systems initiatives than there are resources to complete them. From this group, businesses must choose the projects that offer the best potential for success. Choosing a project should be based on the company's overall business strategy. Management structures for information system projects. From this slide, it makes sure that the most crucial projects get the attention they need. The corporate strategy planning group and the information system its steering committee are at top of this organization. The corporate strategic planning team is in charge of creating the company's strategy plan, which can necessitate creating new processes. The senior management team in charge of system development and maintenance is the Information Systems Steering Committee. It is made up of department heads from the information system and end-user divisions. The steering committee evaluates and approves plans for systems in every division, works to coordinate and integrate systems, and on occasion takes part into the decision-making process. The project team is managed by a project management team made up of end-users managers and information systems managers who are in charge of managing a number of distinct information systems projects. The individual systems project is wholly under the direct control of the project team. It consists of application, programmers, system and analysts, experts, the relevant end-user business domains, and sometimes the database specialist. Linking system projects to the business plan. Organization must create information systems plan that supports the entire business plan and incorporates strategic systems into top-level planning in order to identify the information systems projects that will provide the greatest commercial value. The table shows a sample of information systems plan where we can see the purpose of the plan, current systems, current situations, new development, management plan, and the requirement for the budget. The plan outlines the important managerial choices that must be made regarding the purchase of hardware, the centralization or decentralization of power, data, and hardware, and any necessary organizational changes. The strategy outlines the organizational objectives and how information technology will help those objectives be achieved. The information requirements and key performance indicators. The organization must have a thorough grasp of both its short and long-term information needs in order to create a successful information systems plan. A strategic approach to information requirements, strategic analysis, or critical success factors contends that a limited number of managers' KPI determine an organization's information need. The industry, the company, the manager, and the overall environment all influence the KPIs. The primary goal of new information system should be to provide data that aids the company in achieving the objectives suggested by key performance indicators. Portfolio analysis. Portfolio analysis can be used to assess different systems projects after strategic assessments have established the general directions of systems development. The organization's information systems projects, assets, infrastructure, outsourcing agreements, and licenses are all inventoried as part of the portfolio analysis. Each information systems project has its own unique mix of advantages and disadvantages. By balancing the risk and return from their system investments, businesses would strive to increase the return on their portfolios of IT assets. In this table, we examine the high and low benefits and risks to a business firm. Naturally, solutions with a high benefit and low danger are the most ideal. These guarantee low risk and quick rewards. Other than that, it is important to investigate high benefit, high risk systems, avoid low benefit, high risk systems at all costs, and re-examine low benefit, low risk systems. Scoring model. A scoring model is helpful for choosing projects when various factors need to be taken into account. It weighs the individual components of a system before calculating the weighted sums. In this table, the ERP must choose between two alternative Enterprise Resource Planning or ERP solutions. In the first column, it is where the evaluation standards made by decision makers is listed. In column 2, the weights of each criterion are also assigned. In column 4 and 6, the grades or score of each criterion were identified. Column 3 and 5, the percentage of the scores were calculated, and below is the grand total where option B has the highest score. This concludes that the business will choose and perform the ERP system. Information system costs and benefits. These are typical costs, intangible and tangible benefits. Tangible benefits are possible to quantify and value. Examples are increased productivity, lower operational costs, reduced workforce, lower computer expenses, and so on. On the other hand, the intangible benefits can be measured right away, like the improved asset utilization, improved resource control, but it can't be translated into quantifiable results. Capital budgeting for information systems. You must calculate all of a project cost and all of its advantages in order to determine its benefits. A project that has more expenses than benefits should obviously be abandoned. One method for determining the worth of funding long-term capital investment projects is the capital budgeting models. Measures of cash flows into and out of a company are the foundation of capital budgeting techniques. Capital projects are the sources of those cash flows. Hardware, software, and human cost results in an immediate cash outflow, which is the investment cost for information systems project. The investment may result in more financial losses in succeeding years, but this will be offset by cash inflows from the investment. Cash inflows can be achieved by increasing sales of existing products or cutting expenditures associated with operations and production. There are four main capital budgeting approaches for assessing IT projects: the payback technique, accounting rate of return on investment or the ROI, the net present value, and the internal rate of return. Dimensions of project risk. Systems vary greatly in terms of their size, scope, degree of complexity, organizational structure, and technical elements. Project size, the risk increases with the magnitude of the project as measured by the amount of money spent, the size of the implementation team, the amount of time allotted for implementation, and the number of organizational units impacted. Project structure. Different projects require different levels of structure. Their specifications are ambiguous and basic, making it simple to describe outputs and processes. Experience with technology. If the project team and the information system staff lack the necessary technical skills, the project risk increases. It is very possible that the project will encounter technical issues or take longer to finish due to the requirement to acquire new skills. If the team is experienced with the budget, system for software, application software, or database management system suggested for the project. Change management and concept of implementation. A significant portion of information systems initiative failed because the organizational change process that accompanied system development was not adequately addressed. Careful change management is necessary for successful system development. The term implementation describes all organizational operations geared toward a new formation system's adoption, management, and routinization. The system analyst serves as a change agent during the implementation phase. The analyst redefines the configuration, interaction, job functions, and power structures of diverse organizational groups in order to create technical solutions. The change agent interacts with users, resolves conflicts between conflicting interest groups, and oversees the completion of organizational adaptation of such changes. The role of end users. High levels of user engagement and management support are often advantageous for system installation. There are many advantages to involving users in the creation and management of information system. First, users have more opportunity to shape the system to fit their objectives and business requirements, and they have more control over the outcome if they are actively participating in the design of the system. Second, because they actively participated in modification process, they are more likely to respond favorably to finish the system. Better solutions are produced by incorporating user expertise and knowledge. It has historically been difficult to establish information systems because of the interaction between users and information systems experts. It is called the communication gap between the users and the designers, and it shows in this table the difference between each concerns. For the user concerns, once it said that will the system provide us with the data we require for work. For the designers, the concerns is how much work will this system require of our servers. For the user concerns, can we access the information on our PCs, iPads, Blackberries, and iPhones? But for the designer, it's how much programming work will this need of our team. For the user, what additional processes are necessary for data entry into the system? For the designer, where will the information be kept? Which method of storage is the most effective? For the user, what tools should we employ to protect the data? Well, for the designer, it is how will employees' everyday routines change as a result of the system's operation. Controlling risk factor. First, managing technical complexity. The ability to effectively manage such projects' technological complexity will determine how successful they are. Project managers need to have extensive administrative and technical skills. They must be able to foresee issues and foster effective working relationships within a team that is predominantly technical. Team members should have extensive experience, and the team leader should have a solid technical and project management background. There should be regular team meetings, and outside the organization, essential technical skills or experience that are not available within should be acquired. Second, the formal planning and control tools. Gantt charts and PERT charts are the two most used ways to record project plans. In Gantt chart, the start and end dates of each activity are listed. It graphically displays the scheduling, duration, and required human resources for various tasks in a development project. It displays the start and finish dates of project activities, but they don't highlight task relationships. On the other hand, PERT chart stands for Program Evaluation and Review Technique. It lists the various activities and highlight task relationships. With the help of numbered nodes that stand for project tasks, the PERT chart represents a project as a network diagram. Each node has a number and displays the work, how long it will take, when it will begin, and when it will end. The arrows on the lines denote which task must be complete before the start of another task, and the order in which they must be done. Lastly, it is about increasing user involvement and overcoming user resistance. User must be fully involved at every level of projects with a lack of significant structures and a large number of unclear requirements. Users must be inspired to support one of the numerous potential design choices and to stick with a single design. Tools for external integration provide a means of connecting the implementation team's activities with users at all organizational levels. Users could take on leadership roles become active members of the project team, and be in charge of installation and training, for example. The implementation team can show that it is attentive to users by swiftly responding to inquiries, taking user comments into account, and displaying a willingness to assist. Users may decide not to utilize a system if it is voluntary, but it is required. Resistance will manifest in higher error rates, disruptions, turnover, and even sabotage. User participation, user education and training, management ethics and policies, and better incentives for cooperative users are strategies to overcome user resistance. Designing for the organization. Information systems projects must specifically address the ways in which the organization will change when the new system is implemented, including the installation of intranets and web applications, because the goal of a new system is to improve the performance of the company. These are lists of organizational dimensions that must be taken into considerations when developing and implementing information systems. Participation and involvement of employees, job plannings, norms and performance evaluation, ergonomics, process for resolving employee complaints, safety and health, and adherence on government regulations. A proposed system's impact on organizational structure, attitudes, decision-making, and operations is described in an organizational impact analysis. Incorporating socio-technical design principles into information systems project is one method of solving difficulties related to people and organizations. Different sets of technological and social design solutions are presented by designers. The social design plans investigate various workgroup organizations, workload distribution, and job design. The social and technical answers put forth are contrasted with one another. For the final design, the option that best satisfies social and technical goals is chosen. An information system with a blend of technical effectiveness and sensitivity to organizational and human demands is anticipated to be created as a result of the socio-technical design, increasing both productivity and job satisfaction. Thank you.